21 of Rational Romantics, and it is Galitzine week here at the pod, where we're going to be talking about two movies from the internet's boyfriend, Nicholas Galitzine, Cinderella from 2021 and Red, White, and Royal Blue from 2023. Yes, I had to look at my notes for that. Okay. So, of course, we are going to talk about some Bridgerton updates before that. Then we're going to dive into the movies. And then make sure that you stick around for a massive announcement at the end. And I will stop talking before I give too many hints. Okay.
I'm glad that you said that right then, because I was like, I was going to elaborate, but it's not the time. It's not the time. You just got to wait till the end. Oh, I can't wait for the end. Usually I don't say that, but I'm so excited for the end of the podcast, so stick around. But first, yes, we do have a lot to cover. Let's dive in.
Well, the first thing that I have to say is that today, the day that we are recording, is Canada Day, so happy Canada Day to Deb. Thanks. And also, Deb, you reminded me something, or you reminded me about something on this date that is, dare I say, more significant than Canada Day, than any anniversary, any Independence Day. This is just a much bigger deal.
It is. It absolutely is. July 1st will always be the anniversary of when we first had a proper podcasty live. You had this trend, I guess, that every summer you were kind of rewatching Bridgerton. So last summer, Cass was rewatching Bridgerton, and every week she kind of had a special guest come on and do, I guess, a live? Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. We were live watching the episode in question. So July 1st last year was my invitation to watch an episode of Bridgerton with Cass, and we had so much fun. And everybody throughout, after, everybody kept saying, like, you guys should do a podcast. You guys should do a podcast. I love listening to you guys. All these things. And we were like, no, that's crazy. That's crazy. No, we're just live people. We're not podcast people. But look at us now, because those comments, all that love stuck around. And now we're at episode 21 of our podcast with crazy news at the end of this episode that us, July 1st, 2024, would never believe. So I love this for us.
That's so crazy to think about us a year ago, like, being like, oh, this is going to be fine. You know, we have this experience. And I truly, honestly, I wonder if this even would have happened if people hadn't made those comments. Like, people saying that they wanted to hear more from us and that we were fun together was a huge spark. So I'm super grateful, and I'm so glad we did that live, and I'm so glad we met and all of these things.
Me too. And if anybody's listening and remembers that they made those comments, please add your comments to whichever platform you're listening to on Instagram. Let us know, because we would love to know that you're still with us, and I'm sure that you are. So.
Well, let's talk a little Bridgerton. So, my hopes were dashed this week because I wanted Portia to have a boyfriend in season 4 so deeply. But unfortunately, Polly Walker did confirm for us no boyfriend for Portia this year. So that sucks.
You know what, though? I love that she's so like, everybody has a boyfriend. Why can't I have a boyfriend? Like, give the woman a boyfriend. That's all she wants. Right. But yeah, there was a lot of confusion, I think, and a lot of hope with that article that was written in Italian. Kind of alluded to, like, some, like, spiciness for Portia. What the heck? Yeah. Not the case, and kind of disappointing.
Excited for the Maid Wars. I am.
Yes.
But I was more excited for Portia to, you know, I don't have a classy euphemism. For her to get it on.
For get laid.
Manservant. Yes, there we go. Thank you. I was excited for Portia to get laid. Yes.
Weren't we all?
Well, I'm like, all 3 of her kids have been at it and whatever. I'm like, it's time. Let's get the mamas involved. That sounds bad. Let's get the mamas their own
storyline.
Yes, their own storyline. Yeah.
Oh gosh, I love that. But yeah, who knows? Maybe they'll hear, like, our plea stranger things have happened. If we're just vocal about what we want, we might get it. So just keep talking about
Yeah.
Portia.
Yeah, definitely possible that if we keep saying what we want, we get it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Stick around. Stick around and find out what we're talking about, guys.
Yes, if you're not watching on YouTube, so you couldn't see our absolutely ridiculously smug faces, we have news on that front. So anyway. So Jonathan Bailey. He's doing all of his press for Jurassic World Rebirth, and he did share a little bit about his screen time in Bridgerton season 4. Unsurprisingly, but he did clarify that it's not more than there was in season 3, which I think we all expected. I think we're all kind of expecting probably a little less, which is totally good. I'm totally game for, that makes sense as the show continues to progress. I'm just thrilled that he's there and that he and Simone are going to be back on our screens. So.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. Considering that this was his subsequent season, like season 3 was a subsequent season to his own, and considering that, from the first season to the second, we didn't get any of the Duke of Hastings, the fact that we've got our Viscount Bridgerton for however many minutes in season 3, I think is a really great improvement. And I loved everything that he was a part of. He was so wholesome, so sweet, endearing, everything that we want from our Viscount Bridgerton. So if he's saying that even in season 4 he's got the same amount of screen time, to me that's really good news, because I just worried that it decreases. If it's going to be about the same, then I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. They have a healthy amount of screen time in season 3. They really do. So.
Yeah, throughout, beginning to end, they are sprinkled in, at the, in the right amount at every, point of the story. So, if that continues, then great.
The last thing that I did want to jump in with that was My Oxford Year, the movie starring Corey Milcreast and Sophia Carson, dropped their trailer. So what did you think of that trailer, Deb?
I loved it. I really loved it. And just to preface, I didn't read the book.
Yeah, I haven't either. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I have no idea what's to come. But it looks super, super adorable. This moody romance in a rainy day, a rainy semester in the UK. It gives that vibe. And Corey Milcreast, oh my god, professor vibes. Yes, please. It looks amazing. And Sophia Carson looks extremely elegant and poised, and they just look beautiful together. And we saw that at To Doom, and yeah, I'm really excited to see this. And it's coming out so soon.
Yeah, August 1st. And they have just oodles of chemistry, and it's gonna be really good. And I hear maybe sad. I don't know. That's the vibe that I get. And then I saw the thing that was from the producers of The Fault in Our Stars, and I was like,
Yeah.
Don't trust you. I don't trust you. So
Automatically lost a little bit of interest. Because Fault in Our Stars just shattered my heart. And I was like, why? Somebody's not doing well. That's my immediate, I can't take it. I can't take it. And honestly, I'm still, recovering from one day. Mm-hmm. Is it one?
Yeah.
Don't give me
it's
heartbreak.
giving me the same vibes, and I'm nervous, because I'm
Yeah.
oh god. Yeah.
I'm why do you always cut off your relationships? Why? I have trust issues now. You know what I mean? He keeps being nope, this is great until it's not. He's protecting them. I know he's a good guy. He looks like a good guy. What are you protecting them from? So we'll see. I'm just going to throw in a little curveball here, but so exciting about the people we meet on vacation.
Yes, we finally have a date.
Early
So
January.
Yes. Yeah.
What do we think about that?
So I'm super excited. I actually looked because I was curious. Like I know that summer tends to be the like ones that we think of like you put your big movies in the summer for like theaters. And so I know that there was some discourse around like people being upset that it was in January 9th. And so I was like, I think it's opposite on streamers because I was like, that's why Bridgerton did so well is because everybody was sitting at home. And movies on
Mm-hmm.
streaming are ones that you find when you're clicking through wanting to watch something. It's not
Mm-hmm.
like when you go to the theater, it's an event, right? Like, so you want people to
Yeah.
be out and about. But in winter for streaming, it's like you want people to be holed up and clicking through their channels. And so I
Yeah.
looked, and all but one of the top 10 movies on Netflix were released in winter. I think one was released in like July, and then every single other one of them was released between October and March. So I'm like, well, this is a good time for a movie to be successful then. So I'm feeling really good about it.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, like, it's after Christmas, and
Yeah.
people will be like browsing through, like looking for like Oscar picks and stuff like that, and like the likelihood of them stumbling on this as like an easy watch is definitely higher, especially at the beginning of January. And also, like, people want to escape. People we meet on vacation sounds like something really nice to just explore in January. So I kind of love that. It's vacation time, even if it's just from your couch.
Yeah, Deb, that is such a good point. I cannot wait for it to come out in January.
So it is time to jump into our Galitzine education, as I'm calling it, because a few episodes ago, we realized that we didn't watch each other's favorite Galitzine movie, Nicholas Galitzine movie. The one that I had suggested to you was the Cinderella from Amazon Prime, because we were talking about like Benefit songs, and I was saying, oh my god, that whole movie is just full of Benefit songs, and you're like, never seen it. And I had never seen Red, White, and Royal Blue. So we said, you know what, we're going to do an episode dedicated to Nicholas Galitzine's movies, and we each watched the movie and have thoughts. So let's start with Cinderella from Amazon Prime, and it features Camila Cabello and Nicholas Galitzine, among others. A huge cast in this, so I'm so excited to see what you think, or what you thought. So take it away, Cass.
I love it. Well, you brought up the cast, and that's like one of my first notes. Is I was like, this is a stacked cast. Like, it's insane.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Pierce Brosnan, Minnie Driver, Idina Menzel, also the girl who played Esther in Sanditon. I realized that the girl who plays Petunia in My Lady Jane plays the prince's sister, who I love. I was like, oh my gosh. And then also Billy Porter is the fairy godmother. And I was like, what is this cast? It's insane. So I was in love already just from that.
I know, it's crazy, and I think that that's one of the main things that drove me to it. I was like, because Cinderella stories, they've been told many times, right? So when you've got like the Amazon Prime version coming out and you're like, ugh, another one. I think that what they did need to, kind of drive people to watch it was like an incredible cast, and they really nailed it. And I remembered too watching My Lady Jane. I was like, I know this girl. I know this girl in her singing voice form. Why? Like, I could not understand why. And then I was like, yes, Cinderella. So, yeah, great cast. Really sets the tone, like, right out the gate with a great musical number. Know the song by heart. Love Rhythm Nation. It's my feel-good song. So, it starts off really strong for me personally. But let's see what you thought about this whole story playing out.
I love that. And I was super surprised because I knew it was a musical. I did not know it was a jukebox musical. So when they started Rhythm Nation, I was like, I'm not hearing what I think I'm hearing. And then they're like, we're part of the Rhythm Nation. Like, I'm not going to sing it, guys. You do not want me to pretend like I'm going to sing that.
Come on.
It's bad. It's a terrible plan. One of my kids, one time, one of my students, because I play music in my classroom all the time, and she goes, who sings this song? And I told her, and she goes, keep it that way. And I was like,
Oh!
so
Oh, shots
you don't want me to
fired.
sing this.
Okay.
Anyway, but as soon as they started singing, I love a jukebox musical, like one of my favorite
Yeah.
things. And so, because I love to sing along, and like, oh, this is so fun, and I automatically know the songs, so I loved it. Lots of real standouts. I loved the "Am I Wrong" whole thing, so good. I loved the medley, and I can't remember what they melded it with, but Nicholas sang Seven Nation Army, and I can't remember what the other song that the girls were singing was, but I was like, this is so Glee.
Oh!
It's so Glee, and I love it. It's a mashup. Anyway.
Oh, God. We need... Yes. Hang on. I won't be able to move on.
I might
Let's
have written
find
it
it.
down. Oh, What a Man. Yes, What a Man.
What a man, what a man. Oh, yes, it's so good. Yes, 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 yes. Oh, so good. I agree. I freaking love a jukebox episode.
It's so funny because as I was watching, I was like, it hit me where I was like, oh, this is why Deb loves this. Because do you know what this movie reminded me of? High School Musical.
Yes.
Like, so much. It reminded me of it so much. I was like, this is Disney Channel for adults. This is a Disney Channel original movie for adults.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I accept that fully. You're right. It was. And it is. And it makes sense that it's my comfort
Yeah.
movie now, apparently.
It does. It all clicked together for me. I was like, that makes total sense. Oh my gosh. So I really loved the twist on it that she's like a businesswoman. Favorite thing about this, that she wants to be a dressmaker. I also really like a kind of degenerate prince. Like, Prince Charming, like, yeah, he's charming, but also he's kind of a good for nothing, and I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, I really love that. And I think that that was the important factor to make it stand out as another Cinderella story, is that Cinderella has this dream that is not about like finally finding a happily ever after with somebody else. It's about finding a happily ever after for her own like dream and purpose. And I love that she knows what she wants. You know, she's just so creative. And you know, the part where she's singing A Million to One, and she can just like foresee, she sees what her future can be. She can picture herself, you know, being one of the vendors in the market and like being a seamstress and like designing things for people, and she can see it. And it's not like she accepts that she can't be that. She just knows that it's not yet. So I love the drive that she has and how it like sticks with her throughout the entire movie.
Yeah. It's a very, like, purposefully feminist Cinderella, and I love that because, like, we need that for our little girls and for the little girls in ourselves. So, that's good.
Totally.
Oh, it cracked me up that he sang, what's the prince's name? Robert. That he sang, Somebody to Love, and I was like, that's funny, because he's looking for a queen. So I was like, that's witty.
That's really, really niche. I love that.
That was...
That's so good. I never thought of that, but yeah, it's a great choice. I love that. How did you find him as the prince? Like, how did you like our guy? What did you think?
I think I love him because it's Nicholas Galitzine. I think if it was almost anybody else playing that role, I think I would have rolled my eyes. But he's so adorable, and I love him so much. And so I'm like, okay, but like, he's also Prince Henry, and I like literally I have that written down here where I was like, his speech sitting on the piano talking to Camila Cabello is like almost word for word him sitting on the piano talking to Alex in Red, White, and Royal Blue. And so I was like, well, same themes. Like, I'm a prince, but I want to go my own way, and so I'm like, well, it works for me.
He's nailed it. He's got it down pat. I love that. No, it's really sweet, and What I like is that it's not like over the. I mean, it might be to like others, but to me, it's not like an over the top like grand ball, all the magic. Like it's just there's realism more so than other Cinderella stories. Like I just think of like the Disney live action of Cinderella. That was very much like taking direct cues from like the original Cinderella.
Yeah.
And it was just very magical. But this one, there's a lot of like real themes to it, so it's not over the top, in my opinion.
I love that because I'm just picturing her like crashing into the drum set and shit, and I'm like, yeah, not over the top at all, Deb. Nope.
But not like magical, like
no,
not...
I totally know what you mean. It just made me laugh because that's what it made me think of, and I was like, sure.
Sure. Of course. That's what I'm saying. Take it with a grain of salt because my idea of normal is very like you don't know what you're getting when I say yeah, that's normal for sure. Like it's definitely not your normal, and that's okay.
It's okay. No, I love it though because I do see what you mean with it has a how do I want to put it, like it's very deliberately trying to make a modern point, a modern twist, a modern perspective on a fairy tale. So I totally get what you mean, and like that it's grounded in that aspect of reality, and so I love that. It's really good.
So I need to ask, and it's so not related to our guy Nicholas Galitzine. What is your opinion? And first off, have you seen Mamma Mia?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I feel like I need to ask now. Just to make sure. What is your opinion on Pierce Brosnan in musicals?
So, I don't care if someone can sing in a musical. Like, realistically, because I can't sing, and I think it's that. Like, I mean, if they're so bad that it's, like, distracting, that's one thing. But if it's, like, a musical like this, or like Mamma Mia, like, if you cast somebody who can't sing in Les Mis, if you cast a bad Fantine, I'm gonna have a problem. But, like, if it's Mamma Mia and the guys can't sing, I don't care. It's supposed to be fun. The cast is all drunk and having a good time, and so are we. That's it. That's all I care about. So whatever. I don't care.
That is totally fair. And I agree 100%. I think it's jarring at first because you're like, James Bond.
See, I've never seen a James Bond movie, like, ever. So.
Fair. I mean, have I seen it really thoroughly? No. But it's just like, that's the box that he was in my head, So Mamma Mia, I was like, okay. And then when I saw Miss Cinderella, I was like, yeah, that adds up. Keep going. But it's so funny that you say Les Mis because I'm like, I think the worst, and like, no offense to anybody, but I think the worst casting in a musical ever. Yes.
So it's so funny because when I brought up Les Mis, I was like, except Russell Crowe because I love him as Javert. Because I know he can't sing. I know, and he's bad, and he's way out of his depth, and I don't care because he delivers such a good performance, and I'm like, the guy that's in Gladiator, the guy that has been through all of the life experiences that he's been through and is maybe that shitty of a person. I'm so sorry, Russell Crowe, if you're not a shitty person, but I don't know enough to be like for sure, but like who has been through and done these things in his life, I was like, he can bring this level of authenticity to the character of Javert that I really appreciate. So I don't know if any of that made any sense, but like
there's a lot of like empathy there, and I appreciate that from you. But for me, every time I watch Les Mis, and I actually watch it very often, whenever he's like walking on like the like not the cliffside, but like the ledge of the building, I'm like, just fucking fall, like let's end this. It drives me nuts. Because I don't think any of it is good. Where's Hugh Jackman?
That's so funny because without question my favorite character in the book, the movie, the musical always is Javert. I always find he's the most interesting to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair. Fair, but I just could not look past it with Russell Crowe. I was just like, bro.
But it is hard because it's like you do have, I mean, when, oh my God, when you have like Hugh Jackman as who you're playing off, like how do you, like I remember in, like Zac Efron has pipes, like he can hold his own. But when he's in The Greatest Showman opposite Hugh Jackman, I'm like, he looks like not very good. And Zac Efron is good, but it's just when you compare him to Hugh Jackman, who is in fucking credible, it's hard to not look at him and be like, there's a weak person in this scene and it's not Hugh. Here's my question. I feel this way also about Labyrinth with David Bowie and Hocus Pocus. Who is this movie for? Because it doesn't quite feel like a kid's movie, because I'm like, there are about 3 too many dick jokes in this movie for it to be a kid's movie. But I was like, it's definitely not an adult movie either. Like, it's not nearly edgy enough to be, like, actually for adults. And it's too flouncy and lighthearted to be, like, an honest, like, adult. So it's like, is this for, like, 13-year-olds? Like, who is this, like, what is the demographic?
I think it was for millennials. I think it was for millennials and like um matowns, like what's the English? Like your auntie, you know?
Okay.
Your auntie would love that, you know? To say it to your, like, maybe because my aunt loved it too. Like your mom and your auntie and like your sis, like you could like watch it all together, you know? It's like a sleepover, I don't know, movie for like adults.
Okay, that makes sense. So like Disney Channel for adults. That makes sense. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I think that's the vibe. But yeah, when you put it that way, it's like that's a lot of money to spend on like a shot that is gonna be picked up by like a lot of 25-year-olds at the
Yeah,
time.
exactly.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, I don't know, but probably for teenagers too. Probably high school. I don't know.
It just made me laugh because I was like, I went in at the beginning and I was like, this is almost a kid's movie because it's a fairy tale. But I was like, but it's not. I was like, you start with Janet
Yeah.
Jackson, like, as a song. And I was like, it's not really a kid's movie then.
Um, yeah, all in all, how many stars would you give it?
Um, I would say like 4 out of 5. Like, yeah, like it's good. I think like, and I also, by the way, I'm really big on like grading things on the rubric that they set for themselves. Like my favorite example is that like Pride and Prejudice would be a terrible stoner comedy. So like you have to assess things like on it, like what is it trying to do? And so I'm like, okay, like I felt like some of the humor kind of fell flat for me. Like I felt like some of the things were a little bit like more cheesy than I would go for, but I'm like, right, but it's supposed to be. Like it's supposed to be like fun and light and sweet, and it's supposed to be, you know, cutesy and just like a little bit like, ugh, roll your eyes kind of chuckle, like, haha, you know, like whatever. And I was like, oh, that's cute. So I thought it was good. I enjoyed it. Well, let's dive into movie 2 of our double feature, Red, White, and Royal Blue, that came out in 2023, that stars, yes, Nicholas Galitzine again, and Taylor Zakar Perez. I love this movie. I love this book. So please, God above, Deb, tell me that you liked this movie.
I really did. I really did like it. I really, really, really enjoyed it. And it's funny because like when I started watching it, I was like, oh, I tried watching this before. Like I recognized the beginning of it and like the you know, at the wedding where they're like walking down like the greeting line. I'm like, oh, there's a cake. There's a cake. I knew there was a cake. So I don't know why I never finished it. And I barely got, like, I think after the cake, I like probably paused it and I just never circled back to it, which is unfortunate because it really is a beautiful story. So I'm really glad that I properly sat down and took it all in. It was in equal parts like endearing, but also like cheesy, which I kind of liked. And you know, just a lot of cliches, but like done well, I find. You know, we're really talking about like two polar opposites, but like similar like experiences with like the politician side and the presidential son side in the US, but also a similar equivalent, I guess, in the UK with like the royal family. You know, this expectation, this image on both sides, and how can they make it work when they're kind of faced with something that might not be as might not be typical for that image on both sides. So I really love that kind of mix that was going on there. Um, and then, you know, the classic. And it's funny because at one point I was like, enemies to lovers. Of course Cass is into this. Of course
So
she
true.
is. So true. So when they were like, ugh, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to shake your hand. I was like, here we go. And yeah, but what I really liked though is that there wasn't too much dragging out of the enemies part. Like it wasn't too much like baggage following them. They got to the point of like, well, like it was just a bad night for me. That's why I was being rude to you. I was rude to everybody. And they just like moved on from like the arch nemesis side of it really quickly, which I appreciated because I was like, just get into it, guys. I know you like two beautiful, beautiful
Yeah.
men. I was like, get on with it, please, because it was yeah, it was really, really beautiful to see them just get into their relationship. But obviously, that comes with a lot of obstacles. But all in all, I really
Oh,
did like
yay.
it.
I'm so glad. Well, and that's like Alex's chaotic bisexual energy gives me life. Like his that's one of my absolute favorite scenes from the book is not in the movie, and that makes me sad. But so in the movie they kind of speed run his realization that he's bisexual. That's a longer drawn out thing in the book, where
Okay.
he is running around like Captain America, running around the like reflecting pool like over and over again as he's trying to figure out, like, he's like, oh my god, I kissed Henry and I can't stop thinking about it. And at one point he trips and just sprawls himself out and goes like yard sale, like iPod goes everywhere. And he's like, I think maybe straight people don't spend this much time trying to convince themselves they're straight. And it's like, And I was like, I relate, Alex. Like, at some point, you just have to go, oh, there it is. And so I love
Oh
that.
my
So Alex
god.
is my spirit
Oh.
animal. I love him.
Oh. I love that. It's too bad that wasn't in the
Yeah.
show. But not knowing that, I kind of really loved that it was not like this super like stressful thing for him to like label himself as one or the other. He was just kind of like, yeah, I've been with two or three guys before, but he's also been with girls. Like if we didn't have to like sit on that for so long and be like, what is
Yeah.
he? Like it was just like he was just open and he was just like attracted to people for who they are. And I thought that that was refreshing. And for Henry to just be like right out the gate, he's like, yeah, I'm gay as a maypole. I'm like, nice, nice. And yeah, so I really love that there wasn't like how can I put it, like too much um pain in having to admit that to themselves. Like they could truly be themselves from the get-go, which was really nice. And I love like how they portrayed like all the texting that they were doing and like the back and forth messages, and how it was like the phone calls, it was like they were in the same room but they weren't. I was like, oh, that's so cute. It was so sweet. And it was like, I'm gonna hang up first. It wasn't like, no, you hang up. He's like, I'll just hang up. And you know, it was so cute. I loved it. It was so, so, so sweet. um I think my favorite part though, and I think this is because I hope and I know that as a mom I would be the same, when he tells his mom, when Alex tells his mom, she's like, we're gonna eat some pizza. And I'm like, oh, it's so cute. And they're having like pizza and they're just like embracing. And I was like, it really brings me back to like um Schitt's Creek.
I
Have you seen Schitt's
haven't.
Creek?
The cringe
Oh
humor is
my
just a
gosh.
little too much for me, so I think I need to come at it one more time and give it another shot. So,
Oh, okay.
I
I
think so
think you would
too.
like it. But it is very cut and dry, but I think that's
Yeah.
why you would like it. Anyways, but in Schitt's Creek, it's like there what I think it was one of the first times, at least in like media that I've seen, where it wasn't like there wasn't anybody who's like a homophobe, or like the story wasn't about like, oh my God, like David is gay. It was just like it's just it's just a normal life. They're just living a normal life, and it's not a big deal. So when it came to be with his mom, with Alex's mom, and it was just kind of like, she's like, yeah, this is great. And even his dad too. Like, it was just beautiful interactions where it's like, this isn't the end of the world, and it's actually a beautiful thing. And I it's heartwarming to see those kinds of portrayals on
Yeah.
the screen.
It's so refreshing to just have it be accepted, and even in a story where like obviously there is conflict around them being gay and being in this relationship and being
Mm-hmm.
queer, it still isn't like the people that love them, there is not a great amount of suffering around that. There's not shock, there's not anything. It's just, hey, we love you, we're here to support you. And then
Mm-hmm.
it turns out the whole world is actually too, and there's a few obviously assholes, but like I cry at the end every time. Cried today when I watched it. I'm just like, it's just beautiful. It's, yeah.
Oh, it really is. Um, I think the one thing that and I don't know if it's just like an institutional thing. Like, I didn't love how it was so like the White House, the president, and like the US side of it is going to be so
Mm.
open to it, and that they were so like, the royal family does not accept this. I get, but we're going to lie. You know, Alex had such a beautiful speech on saying like, I
Right.
love him, and like this is how it is and everything. And then on the other side of the pond, they're like, we're just literally going to lie. And I was like, is that necessary? Like, did you not hear what he said on national TV? Like, you can't do that.
So there's a couple things that are definitely different from the book, and I'm always going to constantly refer back to the book because I love it so much. But that is one of the things. Like, Henry's mom plays a bigger role in the book, where she comes out swinging to defend her son. So there's a little bit more like,
Mm.
I don't know that it's necessarily like the palace against. It's more like the old guard and the like people against this bigotry. And then also on the flip side, in America, the stakes and the conversations around how much his mom could lose the election and how much her opponents use Alex's relationship is ratcheted up. So I think that both those maybe balance a little bit more in the book, although you still definitely have like,
Mm-hmm.
queen against it, and then in America president for it. But
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But all in all, very lovely end to the story. It was so, oh my gosh, though, when he oh, when he shows up wet and he like came in like, oh my gosh. He's like, I'm not leaving until you fucking tell me to leave. I was like, oh my God, Alex. Oh my God. But then it's so heartbreaking to see Henry just so like, so torn on how to navigate this. You feel for him, and oh my gosh, he plays it so
so
well. Such a great actor. And although Taylor,
yeah,
great actor for sure, but I felt like Nicholas, I was like, oh, you're really, oh, I don't know. I felt like he dug even deeper in like that emotional side. Maybe it's because he had the chance to do so in his like character arc, but oh my gosh, I felt it. I felt it in that moment. And then when he brings them to the museum, and then but then when Alex like plays the music and when they dance, I was like, stop! It was so good. It was beautiful, beautiful, and even like, okay, I'm just like, I guess I really really loved it. I really loved it, but like when like they have like their first time, and I love how he's making jokes like, who says making love anymore, and he's like, eh. But like, so it was so tender and beautiful, and you don't, I haven't seen that a lot on screen. You know, so it was really beautiful to see it portrayed in such a tender way. Um, and I feel like that might be a whole conversation on how these things are usually portrayed and how that's problematic and everything. But this I found like I feel like it always should be portrayed this way because it was beautiful and it was really, really well
No,
done.
it really was. Well, and I'll take that very earnest thing and make the joke of I cannot believe after this movie came out how many people I saw that discovered that gay men can do missionary from this movie. And I'm like, okay, like that's an interesting. Okay, all right. Glad you learned something, guys. Like,
But I think also that's what I'm saying though. Like I feel like so many times that it's portrayed, it's in this completely opposite way, and it's like you just think that it's just one way and that it's just like this crazy intense thing, but it doesn't always have to be that way. Like it could be
right.
missionary. And I guess people are learning things. That's fine. That's fine. But we need more of that. We need more of like the real stuff.
Well, and like a book written by a queer person and then a movie directed by a gay man, like you do get more honest portrayal when you have the people who are being portrayed behind the camera. Like that does help. And so it's why it's so important to have representation in all areas of media because if we want to tell honest stories, we have to have people who can tell those authentically. And so I'm really glad of that. I had to call out, I literally have up in my classroom, I have the words history, huh? Like written on my wall in my classroom. Because Jeff's having a heart
I
attack.
forgot I wanted to bring it up.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, when he says that history, eh? And he's like, let's make some. I was like, oh my God, please. Please. Ugh. Sorry, finish your thought. I forgot. I had the note and I have another quote.
That was the thought. That was, I was
Anyways,
just like, I
finish your
have it up
thought.
in my classroom and I wanted to make sure that I noted that line because it's so good.
Oh, it is so good. And the other quote that I have, which drew a tear. Oh my God. It's when Henry says, please hurry, like to come to England when like everything's happening. And then Alex is like, I'll break the sound barrier for you. I was like, oh my God. I have, like,
Yeah.
can I put that on a mug or something? Like, Jesus Christ. It was so good. Oh my God, I loved it.
It's so good. Well, and like they do so well with the little details. Like one of my favorite things is in the end when they're meeting with the king and Henry goes to twist his pinky ring and he doesn't have it and Alex has it and it pans over and Alex is already twisting it. And it's like it's just them.
Yeah, and then how Henry is just like, oh, it's safe. Like he has like this little smile of like relief when he realizes and remembers. It's just like he feels like he's in good hands. Oh my God.
Well, and one of my favorite lines from the book, because so the book is told in first person from Alex's perspective, and that's all we get. We don't get any of Henry's, which is really interesting
Oh.
because Alex is like the main character, but Henry is like the person, like he's the linchpin. He's the person that the story's like about, even though Alex is telling it, and it's like anyway. But there's a line where it's just Alex's internal kind of monologue, and it says, Alex is so in love he could die. And it's one of my favorite lines. And I'm like, I watch that line play across Taylor's face when he's watching Henry do karaoke. I'm like, when they're in the bar, and I'm like, you can watch him fall. That's the final brick when he falls in love, and he's just there. And I just break apart because I'm like, oh, I can watch that on screen, and it's just beautiful.
Oh my gosh, you're so right. It's that moment and also the beginning. And so I feel like that's the, like you say, the last brick. But the moment where it's starting to all like come undone to make sense is the New Year's Eve party when everybody, which I died, everybody's getting low to like the song of his youth. And everybody's low, but except for both of them. And there's like this slow motion like moment where they're they're alone in this crowd of people, and I was like, oh my God, here we go. The symbolism there, I was like, this movie was gonna break my heart in the best way possible, and it did. Especially when it like led up to the karaoke, I was like, oh, there he goes. He's fallen in love. Put a Taylor Swift song on.
I love one of the central themes of it, obviously, is that Alex needs to be patient and that Henry needs to be brave is the wrong word. He uses that about himself, that he needs to be brave. And I'm like, sweetie, like, you have lived in the closet your whole life. You are brave. Your sheer existence is brave. But he needs to, like, work his way toward being out loud and for going after what he wants. And so I love, because Alex is always impatient and Henry always struggles to go after what he wants, but the New Year's party is the flip. Like, Alex is waiting for Henry to make a move, and he doesn't know that that's what he's doing, but he is patient that whole night. He's not getting, like, girls are pulling him away, and his focus is still on Henry. Like, he is always there, and, like, Henry goes away, and he goes after him. Like, his patience and his steadfastness is there, and that, like, supports Henry into doing the thing and for going what he wants and being the one to make the first move, because they needed that domino to fall. And so I love it because it's just this little microcosm of their relationship, and it's so beautiful. Can you tell I've thought a lot about this?
But, like, as you should, and I will continue to do so myself, because it was beautiful. And I can't believe it took me this long to watch it. Because I love it. I'm obsessed with it now. I love it. And you haven't asked me, but
Okay.
5 stars.
I love it.
5 stars.
That's good.
No, it was great. It was perfect. I thought it was really, really beautiful. And yeah, I just want more stories like that.
Well, good news, because they're making a sequel. Yes!
What?
Do you not know this? Yeah!
No! Since when? When is this?
It was a while after they hadn't done one. They hadn't announced it. And then probably, I don't know, a year ago or so, they were like, yeah, we're going to do another one. And so they have the script written, and I think that they're filming this fall.
Oh my God. Is there a sequel to the
No,
book?
but the author of the book
Like, is there a
is
second
writing
book?
the screenplay with the director. So,
Oh my God. Okay, that is great news. I had no idea. Oh,
yeah.
I'm so happy I got attached. There's nothing better than knowing there's going to be more of something that you loved and thought was over. You're like, oh, there's more to come. Great. Great news. Oh, that's so exciting. Love that.
Yeah. So we get to see more of them.
Can they get married?
So we do have a flash forward
Please?
of them into the future in the book, and it flashes forward 5 years, and they live in like a brownstone in New York, and it's really cute. And Alex is like in law school, and Henry's like writing, and it's so precious and so beautiful, and yeah, I just want to die.
The perfect epilogue, please. So good. So cute. So cute. Happily ever after. That's all Nicholas Galitzine can do is happily ever
Wait,
afters.
yes, which is true. Have you seen The Idea of You with him?
I saw it for the first time like 3 weeks ago.
Crazy.
That was the first time. I know. I can't believe it took me so long. And I assume there's a happily ever after. Like, there has to be. Right? Because the way it ends is like...
Book isn't. The book, they
Right?
break up and they don't get back together. And so I'm like, when they put Nicholas in it, they're like, happy ending, has to be. I'm like, good call, guys. While we have absolutely loved spending all of this time talking about these movies with you, we have to get to our big piece of news that we are beyond excited to share with you. So, Deb, would you care to share with the listeners the exciting development for the pod?
Oh my gosh. I would love to. And I really I truly would love to do this in a very cool, professional way. And we're just going to pretend that that's what I am. So chill about it. But the truth is, we're not. We are very excited about the next guest on our podcast because a few days ago, actually, we had the chance to sit down with the lovely, lovely Ollie Higginson, who plays Footman John in Bridgerton season 1, 2, and 3, and on to season 4. We spoke to him about so many things that we are just bursting at the seams to share with you guys. Cass, thoughts? Prayers? Notes? I don't even know because I'm still reeling from our conversation with Ollie.
Yeah. I mean, you guys, if you guys are following the pod page, you saw my squeaking today on the reel that we posted. So that's about how I felt right after that. We recorded, and that was even before, and I had more squeaking after we recorded. So we're not cool. We're very excited. And here's what I will say. I thought the exciting thing that was going to come from the podcast and from the interview was that we had talked to Ollie Higginson, and that was deeply exciting. However, the information, the things he had to tell us, turned out to be the things that broke my brain, not just the fact that we got to talk to Footman John. So anyway, you're going to want to listen to this interview, and you're going to want to listen to the episode that we have after it where we're going to talk about all the things that happened in the interview, because that's how big of a deal.
Yeah, it's a lot, and we cannot wait to share it with you. So please tune in next Sunday. Mark your calendars. We will set a reminder for you. We will do all the things so that you will be privy to this conversation with Ollie Higginson next Sunday, July 13th.